Terence Patrick Moran. I'm 82 and I'm a professor emeritus at New York University, Department of Media, Culture and Communication, the Steinhardt School. 1960 I came to NYU and applied to be an undergraduate, and I've been here ever since. When I was a boy, teenager, a friend of mine, Frank Darmante's father was a jazz musician, and he used to bring us over to Manhattan to listen to rehearsals. Back in the 60s and 70s, the music scene was very, very vibrant and extraordinarily rich, and best of all, it was casual. You could walk into plenty of places just to listen to some music. You didn't have to fight to get in and out of it. It was a kind of a drop-in experience. And that's all gone. Since I live in this neighborhood, I walk these streets a lot, and I'm shocked all the time how new things are there all of the time. The village was not considered to be an ideal place to raise children in the 60s and 70s. And, you know, the park was pretty rough. A lot of drug dealing, fair amount of crime and everything, but it's gotten very gentrified, and there are more families with children. It's more like a community than any place else. You can walk to almost anything you need here. When I was an undergraduate, I was taking a course in the humanities. Professor Robert Berlin was giving a unit on art in the 20th century. During this period of time, I was older. I was a Marine veteran, and I didn't hang around with the students, the undergraduates. So I used to go to a bar called the Cedar Tavern. It was on the University between 8th and 9th in those days. And I met a number of people in there, and there was this fellow, Bill, an older guy, and I used to talk to him quite a lot. And he had on coveralls and full of paint. And he told me he was a painter. I assumed he was a house painter. I was in this class, and Berlin was lecturing on all the various artists, and he got to these abstract expressionism, and he was showing us these pictures and a photograph of the artist. His name was Willem de Kooning, very famous Dutch-American painter. And I liked it. So I finished the class, I went over to Cedar Tavern, and Bill came in, as he usually did late afternoon. I said, "Bill, are you Willem de Kooning?" And he was, of course. That was the richness of the village in those days. I met musicians, I met writers, I met people. You didn't have to do anything special. I only wanted to live in the village since I was young. And all my life, this is my favorite neighborhood, and it still is. And even with my semi-retirement as a professor emeritus, I still live in the village. My wife and I couldn't think of any place else that we'd like to live.